So, I met Gary Vaynerchuk today. Well, I met him before, but I actually had a sit-down one-on-one meeting with him today, as you guys could probably tell, and it was huge. It's the culmination of so many different things that I executed, and it was just awesome that we were able to actually talk and stuff. I gave him a gift, and essentially what the gift was essentially a book, a journal, a scrapbook of a bunch of screenshots that I took, essentially documenting every single online encounter that me and Gary had with each other, whether it be on Twitter. Twitter was the main one, with me tweeting at him and him liking and or responding, but I was super nervous. The conversation started off where I just kind of like introduced myself, and you know, my whole goal with this meeting with Gary was not to come away with anything. Like, I didn't have an ask or anything in there. I didn't ask him to come speak at Michigan, although I would love if he would come speak at Michigan. I just knew, like, look, I'm gonna get mine because I'm gonna put in the work that I'm gonna need to succeed. And my whole goal with the meeting was just to, you know, connect, just to put a face to the name, you know, just chill, just chat. Like, something that he really, really wowed me with was his ability to make you feel like you are his priority when he's talking to you. Like, he makes you feel like you are the only one in the room with him. It was just absolutely amazing, you know, and it was so cool just to chat with him. Overall, it was an amazing talk. I'm super glad that we were able to chat. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing and just continue on my journey, continue on my path, and take the lessons I learned from him and take the conversation as the start of a relationship. Like, that's really all I want. 'Cause I know, yeah, like, I'm young, but I really want, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, and I know it just doesn't mean that much coming from a 19-year-old, but from the bottom of my heart, I just want to connect and build relationships with these cool people. No, I'm from Michigan, so basically I'm here for the summer, dropping out, going back here in January. I need to go back in the fall to wrap up a couple things, just a lot of
personal family stuff or school stuff?
So part school stuff, part one of the startups I'm working with right now. I have a full-time business development internship, and my part-time growth marketing internship is with the startup that I'm actually helping launch in the fall. And they want to like launch it starting in the college market, but basically I signed an apartment lease and stuff, and so yeah, so like it's hard to get out of it, you know. So basically my whole like thing with this meeting is just, I mean, put a face to the name. Obviously, like you skim through it. I documented every single time like we interacted. Actually, you know who told me to do that was actually Chef Lizette, and she was like, yeah, do it. And then like I mentioned to her like, hey, like I actually got it. She's like, oh, you should put it all together in a scrapbook. And I was like, that's a great idea. Yeah, it's funny because like I was telling my friends about it, and they were like, that's kind of creepy. And I'm like, I think he'd appreciate it. I don't know. Like,
I think everything in life is about intent, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I think anything can be creepy and anything can be not creepy.
Exactly.
Depending on the seed it comes from,
yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's
for sure.
That's the part I think most people miss.
Yeah.
It's not the action, it's why did the action happen?
Yeah. One of the things that you preach, and one of the things I try to be my best at, and that I think I'm good at, is like EQ, just knowing context behind people's like spiels. And so like anytime you say something and somebody actually says it, or even anytime, like I know you so well from all of your content that like anytime I have like a decision to make, like I'd think, okay, if I ask Gary this, he'd probably say that, and then like.
And I think the key is at a young age, it's harder to actually live 5149 because it's not 5149 for the next couple of months so that you get 49-51. It's 51-49.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people struggle with that. The thing that usually stops me from engaging deeper with people is their 5149.
It's just transactional.
It's upfront, which is just it's just not the essence of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead. I know we've got this limited time. I don't want you to miss it.
Yeah. So basically, the first time I heard about you was on Facebook, and actually shortly after, I snuck into like an official tailgate where Steve Ross was there, and we were talking to him, my friend and I, and then my friend was just like, he mentioned something about media, and Steve Ross is like, oh, we own part of VaynerMedia. I'm like, it's Gary Vaynerchuk. So like we started talking, like I ended up getting in the conversation. Yeah, it was just super cool. And then at that point, I was just like, okay, I gotta meet Gary now, because like I just gotta complete the duo. But I don't know if I mentioned this in the beginning, but you're pretty much the only motivational dude that actually has gotten me to take massive action. So, because I mean, you just preach it so much, and I matured. You know, like in middle school, like I ran track, and like that's part of my my competitive drive, where it comes from, is sports. Like I wrestled and stuff, and in middle school when I was running track, I would listen to Eric Thomas like all the time, you know, like E.T., and I'd be like, damn, this is legit. Like, and so like I always loved the motivational stuff. But then with you and like with me, like when you showed up in my life, like, and that sounds like super kind of like cliche and weird, but when you, exactly, like when, exactly, it's just like,
it works,
okay,
it works hand in hand, right?
Yeah.
I always wonder, is it the person showing up, or is the thing that the person heard kick them into action?
Yeah.
But it's really irrelevant, right? Whether the coach shows up at the right time or the person inspired action.
Yeah. And it
doesn't matter as long as something's happening.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing, man, that I sense from all, you know, I think you have a lot of tenacity from like our engaging and things of that nature. The biggest thing that you're gonna have to battle is patience. That's it. That's the tough one, man.
Yeah.
When kids have fire,
Yeah.
And what not investing in patience does is creates the thing that I'm speaking to you about mostly. It's the second time I'm bringing it up, which is you can't 5149 it for a year hoping it goes the other way. That's the only. That's the only thing you've got to wrap your head around.
Yeah. Definitely. And that's like one of the things like I struggle with is when you tell that story of that dude at Wine Library when you were just starting it, and like you walked into that one convention and he's just like, I fucking hate you, I hate your guts, and then later on,
I've only told once.
and I'm just like, fuck, it's like hard for me to like even like.
It's hard to be the bigger man.
Yeah. Exactly.
Sometimes to say.
Yeah.
That's why it's so valuable. The only things that are valuable are the things that most people can't do. The less people that can do something, the more valuable it is. That's why it's so interesting that these noble, tried and true, you know, real, you know, hard work, patience, giving without expectation, people don't do it. Thus, it's a competitive advantage. But it is a mindset shift. And this is why I push so much the whole narrative of if you knew how young I felt. Like, I think we're contemporaries. That's
the whole reason for this meeting.
but no 22-year-old thinks, like, again, I always bring up my cousin Bobby. When you're 22, 30's old. It just is. Like, you know, anybody can yes me to death. I lived it. And I think that's the punchline. If 22-year-olds knew that 30 wasn't old, well, then me pitching eat shit for 8 years feels like a good idea. But then for us, 8 years is just... It's forever. You were 14 8 years ago.
Right.
All right. I'll squeeze it.
But yeah, like basically, like you helped me deploy massive self-awareness.
So in the 2 minutes here, because that's stuff you can kind of tell me on Twitter. What do you need? Like, what's on your mind? Like, what do you think? Like, what are you trying to make happen?
Honestly, I've been trying to think about that, and I don't know. I know that I just want to win.
So good. Honestly, that's a good answer. That's why I just asked you that. You don't need to cripple yourself. Here's what I would tell you. Surround yourself with good people as much as possible. That will work itself out, right? Do you understand?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, when I say good people, I don't mean people that have been successful necessarily. I mean people that are like...
People that'll drive me, push me.
And just like,
and that's actually
right
something I wanted to mention. Like, one of my really good friends at Michigan, he's interning for Dan Gilbert right now. I've been engaging back and forth with both Jesse K and Swish over like Twitter and Instagram and stuff. And the conference that you're helping Shauna with in February, I'm actually going to that because like Haste and Hustle and stuff. But basically, yeah, that's just like the whole thing. Like, I think
You need to make sure that all those people think that you're coming from a place of bringing value and patience, not trying to network in. Because that's the fine line that everybody, that's what we always debate with things like this. This is what Ross thinks about, this is what Gilbert thinks about. Is this kid trying to just get in?
Yeah.
Or is this kid trying to provide value and knows in 13 years that will be beneficial to him?
Yeah.
You need to convince the market, these A players, that it's the latter.
Yeah, like my whole thing is like, for this meeting, people were like, are you gonna ask for a job? I'm like, no, because I think like, look, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. I'm on my mission. I'm gonna get mine, however I do it.
Mission you?
Yeah, I got accepted.
You haven't decided if you're gonna do it.
Yeah, so the thing is like, cause it's still, we were talking about this a little bit last night. There's a scene in The Dark Knight Rises where Bruce, he like makes the leap. You know, he makes the leap, and every time he has the rope, you know, it's a safety net. He misses it, but once he takes that, and it's that binary decision of like, I catch it and I live, or if I fall, I die. Like, he catches it because he needs to, you know? Like, he had no choice. It was either, you know, like live or die. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it.
I have no idea what that curriculum is going to look like or how it's going to play out, but I know Adam's a winner.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's a great guy. Thank you so much.
It's almost 7 o'clock East Coast time. Give me a call.
Also, Gary, can you say something to the camera?
Yeah.
So Gary, what do you think about me dropping out?
I think even me, anybody, can't really answer that. I think you need to answer that for yourself. But I think if you're an entrepreneur in today's world, you know, there's no school that necessarily is bringing you huge value.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what I think.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And
Ask my sis Ashley if she could get in touch. Then I received a voicemail from my father. Man, life is nuts. I'm convinced everything happens all for a reason. Spoke to my dad and got caught up on a couple seasons. Talked for a few, we good, but will it ever be normal? And if they made a time machine, Dad, would you walk through that portal? It's not a time, no. It's not a place, no. It's not the season. Give me some space. It's not